Welcome back to the Marvel e-bikes episode 11. As the title says, is the Adventon Adventure e-bike the bike for you? I have done 10 episodes so far, and I've done everything from the unboxing to testing to answering all your questions. And I do appreciate everybody who has subscribed. You know, when you're new to YouTube, you try to come up with good content and not just me riding around on a bike. I mean, here I am in my garage this morning, trying to get some good content into you. So what I want to discuss today is the Aventon Adventure bike the bike for you for what you're going to use it for? So if you had seen episode 1, I have never seen the e-bike or ridden on an e-bike prior to the delivery of this bike. So I really didn't have anything to compare it to. I didn't have any other companies out there that was willing to send me any kind of bikes to try out. But now, since my channel has grown, I am getting contacted by other companies asking to do comparisons to the Aventon Adventure e-bike, which I'm more than happy to do. I just don't want to end up with a garage full of bikes that I'm not going to ride. So I just wanted to discuss today what I like about the Aventon e-bike, kind of a summary, and what to look for in an e-bike, and really get you the best bike for the best buck that will suit your needs. So let's get started. First, I want to discuss the bike itself and not the accessories that we'll add on later. I chose a fat tire bike because of the stableness and the ability to go into sand or on the beach and even light off-roading. But I primarily use these fat tires. This is a 26-inch i4 fat tire. Doesn't really have anything built in to prevent getting a flat tire, but they are Kinder tires. They are a brand name, and I did like the look of it. I did keep the fenders off. Like I said, I'm not doing a lot of off-roading, so mud and that type of stuff, I don't even ride in the rain. Got about almost 800 miles on it. I don't see a lot of uneven tread wear or anything else on the bike. If you're looking at it is a solid rear suspension with a front 80 millimeter front suspension with the ability to lock out, and a preload. Not really sure the settings of the preload. If anybody knows what the best settings are for that or how to use it, that would be great. The suspension is very good. I don't think it's the best. It's not an air suspension, it's a spring suspension. I did put a suspension seat on just because, and a little softer seat, just because it just for comfort wise. Actually bought a pair of bike pants that didn't look like bike pants, and I wear that occasionally, but this seat setup works pretty well without it. Another thing you want to look at is the motor itself. This happens to be a brand name motor, Bafang motor 750, peaks out about just over 1100. The motor is very powerful as far as getting up hills. Like I said, living in Florida, I don't get a lot of hills, but the ones that I do, there's no issues getting up with ease. It does have a throttle that caps out at 20 miles an hour, and the pedal assist, if you saw one of my episodes, I peaked out about 33 miles an hour. We want to talk about the gearing. This is a cassette with the Sarah Shimano derailleur. Haven't had any issues with that. The gearing is fairly decent. I believe it goes from 12 to 32. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. I don't have my specs in front of me, but I mostly use the 6, 7, and 8 speed gears, just because riding on flat, you don't really need too much more than that. 46 tooth front with an average length of the pedals, perfect average combination for trail riding or light off-road. If you want to get obviously if you want to get a smaller one or a larger one, they're pretty affordable, pretty easy to change out some of that gearing ratio. I did get a metal color coordinated pedal just because I wanted a little more grip with this. But again, the standard pedals on the bike are fine for everybody. One of the biggest sellers was the full hydraulic brakes with 180 millimeter discs, which is nice, low maintenance. They originally shipped with Bengal brakes, but they changed it to Zoom. I haven't had any issues with this. I did do a brake test. Not sure how accurate that brake test was, as I was fully locking them up and basically sliding across the pavement. I think if they ever invent ABS for bikes, that may be a good thing. I don't know, but the brakes will lock up if you just slam on them, which means they're working, and everything else is inertia at that point. And your tire, the Zoom brakes, I do like the feel. They're adjustable here where you can bring them further or closer out, kind of make them tighter or looser. I kind of have them on the tight side, so I do like that aspect of it. It's comfortable for me for my wrists. Let's talk a little bit about the battery. It's a 15-hour battery, 48 volts. It locks in with a key right there, and it has a light here that gives you a battery indicator. Blue meaning fully charged, and then it goes to green, and then it goes to red. And you have the ability to charge it right there on your bike in the garage or wherever you're charging, or if you're out and about and need a charge, you can bring your charger with you. It does have a fast charger, a 3-amp charger, which does charge within a couple hours, so that's pretty decent. Actual screen here, it's a 2-step process. I do like the setup they have. If you notice on here, they do have battery percentage. So it is a color screen. This is not on the fullest brightest setting. It's from the second to the top. I do not have any issues with seeing this during the day. Some people say if they have polarized glasses that would be an issue. I don't wear polarized glasses. I don't want to see things that I can't see in real life. Throttle versus twist throttle. Quite honestly, this is the only thing I've ever tried. I do like the fact that you can hold it down and it's not so encumbersome on your thumb. I don't use the bike to constantly just use throttle only. When going around the trails, I do like to get the exercise, but that's just a matter of preference. If I ever test another bike with a throttle, I'll let you know how I like the comparison. You can see you can go all the way up to pedal assist 1 through 5. They're preset. I think they're set perfectly for the trails, the way they're set up, and I did go over all the speeds that you can do on the pedal assist. I think it's a good general combination of the pedal assists with the gearing. I think it works out really well. The only bike that I've ridden so far, and I have nothing to compare it to yet. So let's talk about some of the stuff that the bike comes with. It comes with a LED front light. This light is plenty bright for night. I don't do a lot of night riding. If you do and you don't think it's bright enough, you can always add. You got plenty of room on the handlebars to add stuff too. So as far as the tail light goes, yeah, people say, oh, it's only one tail light, and they should have incorporated one on the other side, but you can always add another light to the back somewhere if you don't feel comfortable with that. Haven't had any issues up to this point. Some of the things I did buy the rear rack here. I have not used it yet. Have not gone on a long enough trip to use it, but it is very sturdy. It is not overly obnoxiously big. It looks like it'll hold, it says 55 pounds, but it looks like it'll hold a lot more. I wouldn't try it, wouldn't put people on it, but I got a water bottle, some minor storage in the back here. Usually put some tools back here, and they're all made by Rock Pros, just to kind of keep it consistent. They have some nice reflective material on the side. I did take off the reflectors on the tires. I did not like the way they looked. I know form over function, I get it, but I'm looking for maybe some smaller ones to put on there for future use. I did like this bike over some of the other ones at the time because The welds are nice and smooth. It doesn't look like it was slapped together and welded by people who didn't know what they were doing. I did like the way it was designed. I did not go with the step through at the time. This is low enough for me to straddle over the bike. This is a large frame, and based on my height of 6 foot, that would be the one to get. They do make smaller frame sizes, so that's always great, and it does come in different colors. I think the black is nice. Some people like the green. Like I said, just a matter of preference. I do like the kickstand. Works well, no issues. Like I said, this bike is a good cruising bike. I do want to take it over, maybe drive it over to the beach and take it out on a long run where I'd have to charge it maybe multiple times, maybe a, I don't know, 100-mile run or something. It is getting warmer out, and probably save that for the fall, but overall I think this bike has held up well. I haven't had any issues other than the replacement of the fork that was covered under warranty. Would I consider upgrading to an air suspension or something down the road? It depends, because like I said, riding the trails, you can literally lock this out, but you can literally lock it out to ride the trails, but you do hit bumps on trails and going through city streets and stuff like that, so it's always good to have that. I did upgrade the handlebars to where I can raise it up a little bit. I did a whole video on that if you want to check that out. I did add a bell, and I did add some comfort grips. They're all locking grips, so always have locking grips. The most annoying thing that can happen is those things start turning when you're sweating and stuff like that. And of course, a rear view mirror is a must. You don't necessarily need two, but one is good on the left side, so if you're driving, with traffic, you should be able to see cars coming up behind you. Overall, very happy with this bike. I would like to do some comparisons to other bikes just to let you know what the differences are. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. I would like to see what else is out there, especially ones that maybe are foldable, maybe a little bit with a lesser size motor, because I did get one of the larger motors out there. Maybe one with a throttle twist, maybe one that's designed more for off-road. So maybe one with different types of gearing and derailleurs. So is the Aventon Adventure e-bike the perfect bike for you? Well, after watching this video, consider this. If you're the over 40 crowd, and I'm using the number 40 loosely, but if you're starting to get those AARP cards in the mail, or not doing as much exercise as you want to or can't, or just having trouble getting out of bed in the morning, this may be the bike to consider. Next, I want you to consider value. This price of this bike is somewhat expensive, but for the value and the quality, and for the special features that it does have, I think it's a good value, especially long term. You'll get your money out of it. Next, you're getting a bike with terrific power and braking. Yeah, you may not need all that power, but just know that it's there. And the full hydraulic braking and the braking power on this bike is terrific. That was one of the big selling points. And one of the best features of this bike is its comfort. It's great for long rides. This is what this is all about. You get on there, you can make it as comfortable as you want. Yeah, I did a couple upgrades on it, but out of the box, this bike is very, very comfortable. Once you get on this bike, you realize how stable and easy it is to ride. This is very important, especially to the older folks. So if you want a bike that is basically a Cadillac of e-bikes, and for you older folks, you know what I'm talking about. Cadillacs are big, fluffy vehicles that have a lot of power to it. And plus, they're very, very stylish. Get a lot of looks with this bike. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed. Thanks for your thoughts and comments, and we'll talk to you next time.